And I don't have minutes. Don't have minutes.
We're actually early.
It says 6 PM on here.
Mine says 5:56.
Oh.
Me too.
Me too.
And- Yeah, all right, well, we'll just have to stay. So always somebody, this guy want your job, Chris?
If I'm not coming out.
What's that?
Dan,
I will
is
call.
his name Dan? Moceri.
Well, Siri, that's.
Oh,
that's
Dave,
Dave.
Dave, yeah. Dave,
He works in your
he's an
office?
assistant.
He wants your job? Is that why he logs into all the meetings?
Oh, I don't know. No, I don't think he wants,
No.
Dave, you don't want my job.
Dave, do you want?
No, he didn't. He
the
didn't
master
want
plan?
Ventilation.
Yes.
Donates, oh my god. Okay. Well,
Does Rick do anything?
He's gonna be on.
My dog down there, so I can hide here.
Are we there?
I know it's
Oh, man.
calling anyway, huh?
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
you gotta wait.
this is wrong. I don't know how that's possible. I mean, did you go to the fisheries meeting today, Tony?
I was there for a while. I had a doctor's appointment to keep me, so I had to leave.
How does somebody from the Waterways Board get an invitation to that one?
We do have a fisheries commission, so maybe that would be covered on the city side. Because Waterways doesn't,
One would think.
one, other than, I mean, the commercial. I guess you asked the mayor.
Yeah, I guess so. Huh? It's not like I talked to him very much.
I didn't go yesterday. Today was
Marathon, huh?
process, what I saw. There was nothing that was gonna be discussed. Nothing, to get voted on. In fact, they were just given the report on, the morning on the ropeless gear. I don't know what this afternoon's was.
Mm.
I got Mark Ring afterwards and. Like, demo crap. Big
Did
crowd
you
there though.
there, Chris?
What's that?
Were you at the fisheries?
He's not the fisheries commissioner.
Just asked.
Well, she
That's what she said, why not you be a Karen said,
Why,
no one asked me.
why would we be there?
No,
I
said, no one told me, no one asked me,
also, but for what reason?
I know.
I think because,
So when you're mayor too. Cause they were all there. All right. Ta-da. All right, so this is the August 25th meeting of the Waterways Board. Present is the Harbor
September.
September, right? Yeah, that's true. God, I wish it were still August. So thank you. September 25th meeting of the Waterways Board, which is a combined September and October meeting. And then we'll do that anyway. Harbor Masters present, our city council liaison, Tony Gross is here, Peter Young, Donna Crocker, Bill Cusimano, Karen Tibbetts, and John McCarthy. And we are missing, who are we missing? Brian, Kellen, and
Bobby.
Bob Alps, yeah. 3 absent, 1 empty seat still. We do not have minutes from the July meeting, August meeting. I'm gonna have to go back and see if we actually had minutes in July in August from July, because we may be backed up for reasoning.
August what, the 14th?
The second Tuesday in August, or first Tuesday in August, yeah. No, the fifth, August the fifth. Yeah. Any oral communications? So we will not approve the minutes, and then we'll go right to you, Chris, the harbor master's report.
So for a season recap, we had a great season, really good season. Fiesta, 4th of July, Schooner Fest all went relatively smooth. We've done a lot of work on our moorings, mooring surveys. There'll be a lot of movement over the winter in key areas that have big wait lists. So public will be happy to hear that.
What are you looking at for numbers there, Chris, for movement?
Like Inner Harbor, Smith Cove, 10 spots in each, which that's very unheard of. Southeast Harbor, there's gonna be another big push. We did 45, over 45, before this season started. We're gonna concentrate on the riverside this upcoming season. So there's gonna be a lot of movement.
What do you attribute that to?
A lot of different things. We've been looking at use of moorings, habitual use or non-use.
To revoke?
Yeah, some revoked, yes, so a lot of different things. We don't have exact numbers yet. Let's see, what else do we have? We did a bunch of work to I4C2 for Schooner Fest. The Heritage Center next door gave us some of their pier, some of the boards from their old pier. So we could make some temporary repairs to I4C2 before Schooner Fest, so we didn't have any holes or rotten boards in there. Which helped out a lot, and now we're moving forward to the plank project, which Karen can talk about a little bit later. We're starting to get a lot of interest in it.
And by the way, you guys did a great job with that repair. We walked up on, there's a whole different feeling.
Yeah. So money wise, as far as the season goes, we're right there with last year. Very close. As you all know, we had 13, I think it was 13 and 14 weekends that were not so hot. But we've been pretty much sold out until this point. And we're still selling moorings during the week and weekends. So revenue is still coming in. That's all I have.
One week, in the last meeting, Chris, we talked about not being able to afford to replace the entire finger docks down at I4C2. We were talking about getting the
So we have,
rods in there.
yeah, so we, oh, go ahead.
We talked about that as part of what was going on.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so we're gonna try, I don't know if we talked about it, we talked about public facilities, we're gonna try to straighten that out in-house a half a day by, tightening up all the bolts, taking the twist out of it. If it works, that's a huge chunk that we can save. If it doesn't work, then we'll have to look at purchasing a float. And maybe it could be something, if we purchase one float, we can take the old float out, repair it, and use it as a second one, we'll purchase one and just swap it out, fix and swap as we need. That was part of the talk. We talked to Donnie King a little bit, and he was willing to help us out on that process if needed.
Chris, when you bought the planks to put the substitute planks in, how do you under?
They were good. They were in good
They
shape.
look good.
Yes, and we did a bunch of work at St. Peter's also. And those ones look good too.
They look good.
Yes,
That's a good thing.
and of course, we didn't do, all of it, but
Right.
obviously the ones that we did do, the planks, the timbers underneath look good.
It's good.
So,
Can you put a grant in?
yes, so there's a Seaport Economic Grant and went in September 10th and November, sometime in November, I believe they'll award it for the repair of St. Peter's,
Well, how much
Or they
was that for?
or they won't.
They make a decision in,
So maximum of 3 million. Typically, it comes out at 1 million, from what I understand.
You asking for a feasibility study first?
We have one that they had done with the previous grant.
Okay.
So they did one on St. Peter's and I-4C two.
Good.
And the money left over from the last Seaport Economic Grant was put into the permitting and design of St. Peter's for this grant, so it'd be all ready to go.
So if that, we're going ahead, but we can do this now, that 1 million comes in, we need the 100,000, we need the 10%, right?
20%,
200,000.
yes.
Are you writing the check?
I thought you were. So we're talking to the city about that right now to try to figure out, you probably. We can't say anything yet because we don't know, but
Right.
we're trying to work that out right now.
Can you enlighten me here?
So typically it's $1 million, it's $1 million grant. We gotta come up with
So
200,000.
we're on
20% match.
20%.
20%,
Okay.
20% match.
20% match.
We don't know where the money's coming from yet.
I got it.
We're working on it, yeah, so that's short story.
You want to wait and go through this a little bit on your, your.
Donna, can I ask?
Go ahead.
Are you working with community development?
Yes.
Yeah, they're really instrumental on going to Seaport Economic.
Chris is the one that looked that stuff over, Donna. He just got it when I talked to
Yeah.
him today, so
He
he's just
did
gonna
pick
look
that.
it over, but.
Yeah, so I just,
We might as well just bring it up right now with you, the numbers all look like they're in line. with-
they're pretty
Well,
much.
the launch ramp, I mean, we knew the boat ramp without,
We know that,
We knew that,
without
yeah,
any enforcement was,
and what we gotta do is take it, like I talked to Tony, we gotta take a 3-year average of what we've done for income, and we gotta plug a proper number in there when we do the budget this year, because it was ridiculous, what,
yeah, that was overinflated. I think they projected at $40,000.
Yeah.
And we brought that number
We brought it down to
quite a bit,
30
and
last
we
year, I
still
think.
knew it wasn't enough.
we still know it was.
We did write a lot of tickets, we wrote over 75 tickets at the boat ramp this year. Full enforcement, no questions.
Did you bring the envelope you showed me today?
Oh, no, I didn't.
Oh,
so we think that
I will.
the boat ramp coming in at 16,000 versus 30,000, that's a realistic number based on what happened this year.
Yes.
Like there's,
yes.
it's
I mean,
not
we
like
still have,
way
we still have
fewer
a little,
boats
we
came
still have a little
through,
more, so
right,
we
but-
still have.
we still have May and June of
May and
next year.
Which that'll be the beginning of the season, so there will be, you know,
Okay.
quite a bit of money, but I think the.
But we will have to have projected that for
Right.
that budget anyway.
Right.
So 30 is not the right number and 16 may not be the right number and it
Correct.
might be 20.
It might be 21, might be
21.
25, somewhere in that area.
Am I the only one that has this piece of paper?
John has it and you have it. I didn't know we were gonna bring it
I
up.
didn't even have it with me tonight. so-
Okay,
Okay. Well, this is something, I'll just go to this part because this is something we really want to get a handle on. And this is the September, October meeting. So our next meeting is in November. So if we can have a finance,
We'll have a
Subcommittee
fine,
meeting
the only reason
before
I
the
held
next
off on the
meeting. I
finance
know.
committee is because I saw your agenda. Your agenda had the accounts for St. Peter's in your agenda. And I went to look at it on,
I think we brought it up. I
No,
think
that-
that was part of our discussion, but we didn't have a finance conversation.
no, but you had brought up those accounts in your agenda that you were gonna speak about it, so I deferred having a finance meeting until after I found out what you guys were taking up. And then I went to look at it on Zoom and did the Zoom not work?
Yes,
For your meeting?
no, the Zoom was working. What happened that day with the Zoom?
I don't know. We could never
I
find.
couldn't.
Yeah,
log
we
in.
couldn't find it. I had
I
a couple
couldn't
people
find it.
try to get on it. We couldn't find
And
it.
neither could Leslie.
Right. So I don't know.
So just on that is to can you connect with Leslie on getting minutes into the record for that meeting?
Yeah, I'll give her these.
Okay,
But I think what happened was that during our discussion on how did that discussion come up, Chris, on what the money, the budget, the accounts?
Oh, they were just talking about work being done on different facilities.
That's right.
And
That's
came
how
up,
it
and it
came
came up.
But it wasn't-
about separate, yeah, it wasn't referred, it just came up when we were talking about money for St. Peter's, money for I four C two.
Right.
So that we had one account for St. Peter's, one for I four C two, one for the boat ramp, one for Solomon
But we were
Jacobs.
just parroting what
Yeah.
happened during the full
Yeah,
board.
yeah, it wasn't.
It was on the
referred-
agenda, that's why I held off.
Oh, I-
Okay, that's all right. We'll get it squared away.
We had to, at our subcommittee level, bring a recorder.
Well,
Because,
we are able to get Zoom links for
I
the
know, but
subcommittee
no, with
meetings.
Zoom link, we've had some issues
Failed
also,
too.
so we
Okay.
also,
Oh, really?
we record everything. You can just do it on your phone, we have a little recorder,
I think we have one
but it's just.
from before Zoom.
For
that we-
backup.
That we could
Okay.
just,
Cause then also if you don't, if you lose Zoom, you know,
That's happened to before too.
that you have the recording. And you don't have to,
So Chris, other than the finger piers, any other big issues come up as far as repairs, engines, docks, floats?
nothing huge.
We still have the Magnolia Pier, that's good.
Yeah, it's still there. Actually, at the end of the month, it's being lifted. Lanes Cove is being lifted tomorrow, weather permitting, or taken out, weather permitting. We did have a radar and GPS chart plotter failure on our 23, which we need that. That's our workhorse. So that'll be, it just failed, so we don't have any price. It could be anywhere from $3,000 to $6,000.
do you want a combo machine or?
Yes.
I see.
I'll do a little research on that. What else did we have? I think that was it.
Okay.
I think that there's nothing major. We do have a fireboy on one of the launch boats that is acting up. The marina did a little work on it last year. I don't know what's gonna happen when it goes in. That could be as expensive as $2,000.
What's it doing?
It's blinking some funny lights. It could be just an electrical issue with it. We don't know yet. We're gonna take care of it. It's getting hauled out shortly. So we'll have the marina look at it, take care
We had
of
that
that.
happen we had that happen with, well, Karen's boat now, but we had that happen with our boat.
Yeah.
With Fireboy.
Just one, how did it go with the overnighters having to report to the harbor master's office about clam flats and?
Oh, about staying on.
Yeah.
We didn't have very many this year at all. I didn't see maybe 4 people or 4 boats at night, you know, that were capable of staying over. So I didn't have one phone call. No,
But I didn't see all summer that usually wrapped up in that little river area. I didn't see that wrapped up all summer like they usually get 5 or 6 boats in it. So I didn't see it.
Bill, you're up.
All right, Karen, you wanna read this or shall I?
You go ahead.
So we had our meeting at August 11th. And we went over all the marinas, the slips, the discussion on what constitutes a commercial vessel. Johnny King and what was the other guy's name there?
Hollywood.
Hollywood was there.
Really meaning.
Yes, and the subject of subleasing. Now, they know that it's only during the winter time and a certain time that they can sublease. We have, or Chris has let them, even though it's not during that time, let them sublease. We agreed that that was okay, but most of it was what constitutes a commercial boat. We've gone through this before, with trying to decide what's a commercial boat. And I think with Tony was there, deciding that too. It all comes down to, their, how the boat is rigged, their catch, reports, the landing reports, right? And days at sea. And whether or not they're really honest to God trying to fish. I mean, it's really possible to go out there and not catch anything. That's absolutely possible, especially tuna fishing. You can go out there for 50 days and not catch nothing. I mean, that happened to Donnie, he said. So,
And Donnie's boat broke down for the last 3 years, so he didn't go on his.
but that's happened in the past with Donnie boats. And it does, it can, but But even if that does happen, you can say, oh my God, I've gone through this much fuel. Well, going out there, and I've gone through this much bait, and I've gone through crew payments. So it isn't like I didn't go out. And I'm just saying that I did, you know.
I suspect that everybody knows who's actually fishing and not
Exactly.
fishing down there, right? I mean,
Exactly.
everybody knows. It's about a matter of how do you draw the line and enforce it?
Exactly, so.
Can I go back to the subleasing? So we're just going to allow sublease?
That's why we're here right now.
Right,
All
We
right.
need to,
So
the
what we
regulation
ended up doing
says
was-
January to April.
right.
We
And
actually,
we ended up not being able to decide at the subcommittee level whether or not we were gonna make a ruling on it. And we were gonna kick it up so we could discuss it here. So that
Do you want to go through your full report or do you want to do that right now?
we're gonna do that right now.
All right.
the part that we decided the most is the harbor master's office has total discretion
They
of
do.
all decisions for subleasing. It's
Right.
the one thing that we decided.
So it says January to April.
Yeah.
So that's what we need to decide. Is it gonna stay January to April,
Or is it gonna be?
or is it gonna be something different as it's been for, I don't know how many years? So,
But, so we have a great deal for people, right? The rent at the city-owned marinas is a really good deal.
And the other thing is,
Why would a fisherman, why would we want one of those guys to make money on our really great deal?
so that came up at the meeting.
Subleasing.
that came up, I brought that up too. Cape Ann Marina and all the other marinas in town, if you leave your slip, Cape Ann Marina gets to rent your slip out. I brought that up and they went crazy because what incentive do we have then? Well, how did Hollywood put it? What incentive do we have then to leave our slip or?
Yeah,
Well, that's
yeah, or
a-
even sublet it, but,
That's a totally different,
right,
No, it's not
It's-
totally different.
it is
That's
totally
That
different.
exactly is the point. Do they rent, they sublet it, or do we sublet it?
who
We're the
should
ones that owns
sublet it at all? It's
Right.
their slip, they pay the rent.
Well, when they sublet it, who pays the rent?
the tenant,
The tenant,
still pays the rent,
Okay.
same as
So we have
any
no
other marina.
control over whether they're
if
charging
they're
more
making
money.
more money or not, right?
Right,
Well,
well, they're getting reimbursed. If they-
I
if they- if
understand
they-
that, but I mean,
Yeah.
they could, and I'm not saying any of them are doing it, but if they're paying $100 a month, they could charge someone else $200 a month and make money.
Possibly.
I thought we discussed at that money when we go to the harbor master's office, if that was in case of.
They're not
Well, I
gonna
mean,
tell you.
Yeah, they're not gonna tell you
Yeah.
that, so.
One
So
at a time.
the
They're not
point
gonna tell
is,
you.
the point
One at a
is,
time.
it says January to April, you can sublet with the harbor master's permission. All right, we need to decide whether we're gonna let it happen at a different month. So Tony Gross, his boat is laid up at the railways, putting a new engine in, he's gonna be 3 months. Should he be able to sublet his spot to somebody while he's tied up? It helps him pay his rent. And it also gets another fisherman a spot for a short term. That's one thing. If you're gonna be there for a year or 2 years or 3 years or do it year after year after year, that's a total different thing.
Right.
So
People
at that
don't know
point,
what
you
must-
either use it or you don't. It's a page, so whatever normal. thing
So
would
there's
be.
just 20 people on the waiting list.
Yeah,
for
at
it
least
to
20
get in it.
people. So that's a way to get somebody in there and get the slip used for that short term while somebody's having their boat fixed. That's totally different than every year subletting to somebody to potentially make money. So there's a lot of moving parts in this, and that's why we brought.
That's why we had to bring it up
back.
here.
I mean, and Jim may have some insight because he's been through this over the years. I see his eyes rolling back. So he's been through this,
For a
so.
long time.
Yeah, and it was a long time ago, but I don't think we ever had that issue. We kept it to those months and that was it.
So, and if that's what it is, that's what it is, but we just wanted to bring it back, say there's a lot of moving parts and the whole board should vote on this.
Tony, you've been on both sides of it. You've been a lobsterman and you've been on the board.
Yeah, I mean, I feel for the people who, we made it because particularly now where you can't fish. And so somebody else could come in and tie up there, but it was just during those winter months because also traditionally the inshore guys didn't fish there also, so they could, either, rather than some of them, most of them wet stored their boat there. They didn't want to pay to put it up on the hard. So, at Roses or something. So it, But it was there so that active fishermen would be using these slips. And expanding that is defeating that purpose. The landings we put in, I think that the harbor master could accept expense sheets. If they're a commercial entity, are they filing taxes? So they will save all these expenses. And so that was, the purpose of it was to make sure that we had active fishing boats. During the harbor planning process, talking with coastal zone management, Catherine Glenn, about the commercial description of a boat. The state has absolutely no desire to differentiate between a commercial permit is a commercial permit as far as the DPA is concerned. So they're not, that's not going to change whatsoever. So we would be hard pressed to get any different argument than that.
She was pretty adamant about that. during
She
that.
was, yes,
And
she was.
A commercial bass license is a commercial license.
That's it.
And that's the state's
Yep.
take on it.
She didn't really care. So it, part of the purpose is so that this doesn't get for storage of boats.
But I mean, you've taken measures over the years. You have landings in there, you have catch reports, that kind of thing. So,
Yeah.
and that's something that's within the purview
Yeah.
of the harbor master to call one of his tenants in and say, your boat hasn't moved in 2 years other than one Fiesta trip I saw you with your family.
Yeah.
Show me your catch reports, show me your landings.
And yes, and I think, and that's a really hard one, but you got, like you say, you got a page full of people who are trying to stay in, that are getting in the business. Slips are not that readily available, affordable slips. Even unaffordable slips are not readily available, let's face it. So it, not only is it a prime spot, is the rent reasonable, it's a matter of survival too, some cases. So I think it's important to keep, I understand, the guys that have been in it, that are my age, that have been in it for a long time, are like, hey, what are you doing? But they also have to understand that people moved aside for them.
So in a nutshell, you're suggesting that if they're gonna sublease, they're gonna sublet to an active fisher. That's what we're suggesting,
And within the regs.
rather than someone that's just storing.
I wouldn't micromanage it for the harbor master that hard. It could be somebody who needs to, their boats on, or they need to put their boat somewhere that's safe harbor. Let's say it's, somebody who's in, Stone Pier and Rockport or something.
That, or we had, a lot of times we had these small scallops coming in during the winter.
Right,
It's-
and
it's-
that we would.
They're active fishermen and they're selling here in Gloucester and that's why the January to, what is it, January to May? Well,
Typically, it's April,
It's
the month
April.
of April.
But that's
But
what
there
you're
is a-
saying, Tony, is that yes, sublet, but during what
During
we
those
already
months,
say
yeah,
is in the
regulation.
regs, right?
And I think, when did it open this year? Was it April?
April 1.
April
It's
1.
been typically April
April,
1,
it was
which is still
April
outside of
11th the
that.
year before, I think
Yeah.
it was April 15th, maybe the first year.
Yeah,
but-
it's within, it's like usually
Yeah.
typically the first.
And, they should have their boat in running, so April 1 is not a hardship.
So
I'm just saying,
then the,
we worked on this.
right,
to
so then
create
the come and ask would be in that situation where a guy knows his boat's gonna be out of the water for 3 months. That's a different situation than them sort of deciding during the, outside of January to
January,
April,
yeah.
doing whatever they want. Which seems to be what started this, is all of a sudden everybody's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh, I'll do
Oh,
this
yeah.
and I'll do that, right?
That's been happening for years.
All
The
right.
complaint came from within. I mean,
Yeah,
it did.
yeah.
It came
It came from
from
within.
one of the.
It's been happening for a long time. And that's why it came up that we need to say yes or no, and if we're gonna say yes, then we need to change that regulation. If we're gonna say no, then we'll enforce that regulation.
And I think
Chris,
the-
do you have a strong feeling one way or the other?
I do not. I mean, I don't, my personal opinion, I wouldn't mind if somebody was out, their boat was out, like I said, having engine work, if somebody else came into that as
Right.
long as they met the standard, you know,
Okay.
and additionally insured. City named additionally insured that they met, that they were a commercial boat and they provide, you know, a catch report.
Right.
Or proof that they're fishing.
Paying who? You or paying the slip owner?
The slip owner couldn't make any money on it. However that works, we can't control that, but I'm saying, and it can only be like a one-time thing. You can't do it year after year after year after year.
I think Tony's right. I mean, we're not gonna
Yeah.
micromanage the
Yeah,
harbor.
right,
next year.
no, absolutely.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying. We either have to do or we have to don't.
I think we have our regulations in place and they're there for a reason.
And you
And
know,
people before us have worked on them.
Right.
It's come up
Right.
before.
Right,
It's just
absolutely.
gotten a little
and
lax.
it's not that you just don't wanna handcuff him, you also don't wanna put all the burden on Chris either.
Exactly.
But don't you logically have like a sign-in sheet for a boat? If they're subleasing, they come in, you're gonna have a sign-up sheet to know who they
Well, they
are.
should have to come in and get it okay.
Yeah.
before they do it.
Typically, no. So it's basically the same
That would be nice to
tenants
have
have been
that.
doing the same thing.
Right, so
And
that's,
It's just like a
that's the
known
problem.
thing that's happened.
Was the objection valid that came from within?
Yeah,
It-
Some of it, yeah.
Yeah, some of it is, yeah. I mean, it's regulation to regulation. It's outside the regulation, so yeah, it's valid.
It was outside the time.
It's outside.
It was outside the time.
It's outside the.
So, yeah, it's valid.
I see. Because it's almost like someone's sharing the slip instead of just like giving it to the next person on the list, right? Like using it part-time, and that's where it gets gray.
Yeah,
And I don't think we need, there's no requirement they have to keep the slip full either.
No,
They don't have to boat in the slip.
no, they just have to prove
They have
that
to pay
they're,
the- pay the
they're
slip,
fishing,
that's
that
all
they're
they pay.
insured.
Yeah.
They're paying the slip, it's their slip, they're the tenant.
So.
if we keep letting it go, it's gonna get to the point where people are just trying to keep their lease and
Yes.
letting people. I mean, that's what people do with moorings, that's what,
Right.
you know, I got it, I'm never letting it go, you know,
Right,
but
so they sublet it to somebody.
Right.
And I think every one of us can understand that sentiment.
I understand, I know,
Yeah,
but
Sure.
there are a lot of people waiting, so.
I mean, yeah, I kind of agree with everybody. I think we ought to just affirm our regulations and. tell Chris, you
So
know,
that is, you're looking for us to have a vote to say you have the authority
You
to.
don't need a vote.
I don't need a vote, but I,
Alright.
you know, I just wanted to bring it to the board because there's a lot of moving parts. And see what everybody in the
If we're gonna
board,
keep it the way it is, we'll need a
we
vote.
only need a vote if we're gonna change the regulation.
So the end of the story is you have the authority and the
Blessing.
blessing of the
Yeah,
board.
oh,
to
absolutely, which I know
Enforce the
anyway, but I just,
regulation and
I
stop
wanted to
what's
bring
going
it
on.
up to see if
Okay.
anybody thought that regulation should be changed.
Doesn't seem
And, you know,
so.
Because it's a hot topic.
You're just responding to a complaint like anybody would have
Yeah,
to do,
absolutely.
you know, so.
Yeah, it'd be like, a car parked, overnight in a no parking zone in front of your house all the time that was just being ignored.
And when you go up there, you gotta tag all the cars that are really been parked. You can't,
Absolutely.
you can't just tag that
Yeah.
one.
Absolutely.
So,
Jim has something to say.
Yeah, I just really can't remember, but I don't think. I think the person that came in and sublet it had to come in and pay you, us.
And fill out a form.
As far as I know,
Remember that.
I don't know that. I don't know that
I'm
part of
pretty
it.
sure that's the way we did it, that they had to come in, they had to have their permit, they had to have their landings, and they paid us on a monthly
On a
basis.
monthly basis.
is that in the regulations?
I
or-
can't remember that.
I don't think
It's
that
not
just-
in, no, it's not in the
So that's
regulations.
not a sublet.
It's not in the regulations.
So that was just a policy you set up? or-
I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
All it says for sublet and absolutely no sublet except for permission of the harbor master between January and April.
Right, I mean, they can't even do it if you don't want them to do it, you
Right,
know, so.
right.
When was the last time the contract was updated?
A couple of years ago. It was after it was updated. These guys would know better, but it was updated,
If
somewhere
you
in
can find an old
TJ's.
contract, that might help.
I have one, David.
All right, Phil, what else?
Right, the other thing we talked about was the I-4C2 fingers. And the through bolts.
Yeah,
We
as
have
I
that
said,
plan.
yeah, as I
Alright.
said, we have a plan to
Yeah.
try to get
Yeah.
those to work.
And a quick question on that. Is- We have to stick with that system or like, we have a company in town that makes aluminum fingers, could he adapt a finger for that? We wouldn't have to.
But it wouldn't be, you know, what's there is concrete and it's their own system. They have their own way of attaching. I'm sure a local company could adapt. The thing you have to worry about is the different heights and
Yeah.
foundation.
I'm just wondering if you could
Yeah.
make something that would work there.
I'm sure.
Cause half the money is shipping that thing all the way from
Yeah, it's
Texas.
almost $7,000 to
Yeah.
ship it.
But if they fix one, the way that they're talking about, in the manner that they talk about fixing it, then they can always work the other one from that.
No, I'm saying if it didn't work, that's all.
Yeah, if it didn't work, yeah. They all have piles on the end of them also, so it's not like they could. spin
Right.
around.
And Donnie was supposed to get back to you on whether or not he can help with that.
Yeah, so I told him that we would, once we get down there, we'll contact him and he's gonna come down when we get down.
Yeah.
You know, go down there to do some work.
But that discussion went on for a very, very long time. It wasn't like it was a very long meeting.
Yeah, yeah. So we also put all the pedestals down on I4C2.
Right.
We replaced the light bulbs because there's no light down there on the floor on the dock. Every light bulb was burned out. So we put all new light bulbs in the pedestals. We cleaned the pedestals up and repainted them. And then we added on the long float up against the bulkhead, we added solar lights. So they're dim lights, and when you walk up to them or walk in front of them, they light up. So as you walk down the pier, the lights get brighter, so these guys have a little bit of light at night. We do have plans of putting lights up on the pier to shine down onto the floats. We haven't done that part of it yet. We're looking, the light bulbs that are in there, we can't just change the bulbs. The actual fixtures have to be changed. It's just the style and the nature of those. So we're gonna look in to see if there's something that we can change bulbs on in the
And
future.
you also
instead of-
worked on the stairs for the event.
Yep.
You didn't replace the stairs, but you worked on the stairs that were there.
Yes, yeah, we put handrails up on both sides and tightened the stairs up. There was one rail that was falling over, very
It made a
dangerous,
big difference.
so.
Yeah.
And we replaced a bunch of boards and nailed a bunch of boards down at St. Peter's also.
All right, and Donna brought up that about the left pots, but you've already taken care of that.
Yes, they've had letters sent, emails, and they'll get, probably within the next couple days, they'll get a notice on their boat. Zip tied to the wheel of their boat, so they
Nice.
see it. It typically works well. I've done it a few times. Some of them don't open it, they just see notice and they call me right up, but that's all right.
Sorry.
That's
All
the
right,
picture of the trap from the. If I were a rat, I'd like it too.
I'd like it too.
So the other thing that we sent down to public facilities was, to tighten up the language on the mud moorings. We got a little tangled here in the full meeting on the language around mud mooring rules. Did you guys take that up?
We recommend.
Not at public
No, we
facilities.
did not.
So there was some stuff on our original paperwork that was taken out and a few things that were added. It's still with city legal right now.
Okay,
I talked to them on the phone and we're gonna make a couple more changes, resubmit it. And let them tweak it and then we'll bring it back.
okay, all right.
So, you know, the multi-unit,
Yeah.
mud mooring thing was a little sketchy. If you said that you needed 40 feet per unit, then if you had 4 units, every 40 feet you'd have a mud mooring, so it was suggested that that comes out of there. And at that point, it's a case by case basis. If you can only get 1 mud mooring in that area with this 4 units, then. it
That
is
makes
what
more
it is.
sense anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Gotta have
so
the
there's
room.
some language, we're trying to make it as cut and dry or straightforward as possible. But I think if you get too detailed, you're gonna get caught up in the whole thing. We don't wanna micromanage it. In that case, it would come to me and I would say, oh, definitely, you can't fit 4 in here. You might be able to fit 1. So we can't micromanage it,
Right,
but we still need to be able to meet certain standards and to be able to apply. So after they come in, if they meet these standards, they can fill out an application. And then after that, it goes to Concom. And then where it goes from there, whether it's approved, not approved, there'll be a meeting between Shellfish Conservation and the harbor master. So they
so
need approval from.
Alan was gonna do updated, the flyer that will come at the same
Yeah.
time. So is the first week in December an issue for that, or are we okay on that?
No,
I mean-
we're still,
Okay, alright. On. We'll have a finance.
Oh, well, like I say, I was waiting to hear. I
Yeah.
did talk to Tony because I wanted some history on why we have so many accounts. We will have a finance meeting now that I know you guys would just,
All we did was bring it up.
Bring it up.
We didn't
so like I said, I
talk
saw
about
it on your agenda and
Yeah, all we did was
um,
allude to the fact that there was.
we will have a meeting on that and Tony seems, when I talked to him, he seems to think that they created the St. Peter's and the I4C2, but now we have two I2C2 accounts, right? Two or three.
yeah, one's a GRA.
Yeah, why didn't it just go to the other one?
So we could actually take money out of the GRA account without going to council.
Oh, so it's in a different kind of.
It's a
account.
different kind of account, so we
So
don't
that's
have to
why.
go to city
So
council.
once that's
So
gone,
leave
that one will be
yeah,
gone.
That'll be gone.
Right.
So that will
Leave
be
that
put
one
into
alone.
that, so we don't have to
Yeah.
go to council for every.
And the high school account has to stay because of the state funding,
Because of the
correct?
state funded, yes.
Okay.
Wait, Jim and I had
So
a
then
lot
that
of creative accounting to go back 10 years to justify that one.
So the question on that, because our ordinance says two accounts, do we need to update the ordinance to match what the accounts are?
Now, Kenny said it's fine,
Okay. All right,
but we still ought to try to,
streamline, yeah,
you know,
That's all dried up stuff. That's, nobody's gonna be eating that
the
stuff.
rats do.
No, I don't eat that. It's just dried up weed.
He said that they've had to do rat mitigation 3 times.
Yeah. Where's
Maybe-
that?
maybe it
Next
was-
to Jim's house at.
So what we'll do,
Next to
we'll
Jim's house at
have
Gus
a
Farrell's, yeah.
full, we'll have a full finance committee meeting and really dig into the budget for the season
right,
and
I
sort of
talked to Chris
project
about
what we're
that today. We need
doing.
to get some munis training for Rick that just started.
Yep,
And Leslie, so that they changed the format again on munis last year. So we need to get them trained on how to input all the numbers into
Yeah.
the munis system so that we can have a draft budget before the end of the year.
all right. All right, so we're
Yeah.
kicking that forward,
Improvement.
and then the grants
Yeah,
committee
big
was
improvement.
kicking
I
that.
love
forward.
it now.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot better than the old one.
Mr. COVID, Munworthy is going forward, and then I put this one on there, Chris.
So. Houseboats. Seem to have been a topic for a long time, will continue to be a big topic. We have somebody that wants to build a 24 by 36 foot houseboat. Right at the northern end
That's
of,
not even qualifying as a tiny house.
as, at the northern end of Pierce Island. So,
Well, and then what?
Pierce Island,
Pierce Island.
basically off of Thurston Point. I don't know, what's everybody think? It's just, it's becoming popular, everybody's calling, we wanna make a house, we wanna build a houseboat.
And I did some research on it today when I saw this on the agenda. I mean, there are towns that have shut them off. And Tony and me talked, because I was asking him about it. And he said it went to the Supreme Court. Well, I found the ruling at the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court identifies that they don't have to. That they don't identify houseboats as a boat. It was 2013 Riviera Beach versus the United States Supreme Court.
So there's
Riviera
two
Beach,
around
Florida.
there right now.
Unless it's what?
We interpreted it as that it was a vessel.
Read it
Yeah,
again,
it
Massachusetts,
can be-
But only if it has-
Massachusetts said
only if it has a
anything is a
motor.
vessel. But they also, there are communities around that have shut them off.
It was San
Barnstable-
Diego or something at the Supreme Court.
It was,
Yeah, it was the US Supreme Court that said it's a vessel.
If it can be
He
driven.
read it today.
No,
He did
no,
not
No,
say
they
it was
didn't
a
have to.
motor.
Back in 2008.
It was
One
able
at a
to
time.
carry people.
Then it was taken
narrow
up to-
cargo.
2012, then it was decided in 2013.
Okay,
Just going to Riviera Beach first, United States Supreme Court over houseboats.
On Beach, Massachusetts.
But Massachusetts is allowing communities to shut off the houseboats. Barnstable does it. They have a regulation that you have to tie to a dock and be hooked up to facilities. Sewer, water, that type of thing. Fairhaven has the same thing. Those are two that I found today. I mean, is this replacing another houseboat that he wants to?
No,
Or is this a new?
Yeah, no, it's not brand new. There's a boat that's considered a houseboat. But it's, you know, it's a pontoon boat with a shack on top of it that he can get in and drive around. So it's a vessel. And he wants to replace it with a float with a house.
With
Which
a motor
means,
and a steering
which means
wheel.
another mooring down there.
Nothing. No motor, no steering
It's the
wheel.
same
Well,
word,
that's not
right?
houseboat.
He
Well,
has a
he needs
more,
another, he
mooring.
needs another one down there.
Is that
Forward
the
and aft.
one with the twin newer Suzukis in the back?
No,
no, this
No,
is the
it's-
old. Does he work for you? Yes, yes.
Didn't we determine that it had to have motors and a steering wheel and the whole bit? We didn't do that?
no.
I thought we did with motors.
How does the size fit the size of?
Because they're all mobile.
It's the
they
same,
just
they're,
need
they're all pretty
push
much the
bolt.
same. They're all pretty much the same length. They're built out by the length and they're all between 24 and 32 feet. 34 feet. So they're all within that range.
Can I ask you a question there, Chris?
Yeah.
What's the decision time on this one?
There is no decision time. So,
I have been wanting to tackle this one. Tony knows, because he threatened me. I have been wanting to tackle this one for a long time. I do not like the houseboats. My taxes are incredibly expensive. They don't have to pay my taxes, my property taxes, and many of them are using them as rentals. Many of them are not pumping out. I go by them.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah.
You're right about that.
Oh, yeah. So, you know, if we double, triple the number of houseboats out there,
Well, this
So it's a
particular
huge
case,
deal.
he's replacing a houseboat with a houseboat, correct?
yes, two totally different
Mhm.
type of houseboats.
Yeah.
it's a pontoon
One-
boat.
One's a pontoon boat, but a vessel is a vessel. So it's a pontoon boat with an engine, a helm, a toilet, whatever else in there.
It's a boat.
And it's a boat. So a vessel is a vessel.
It's legally.
Is it the one I'm
So-
thinking of, the one,
That's what we did.
the kid that died, had, not that one?
No.
Oh, okay, because that's a houseboat built as a houseboat.
No, it's a boat. You know exactly.
So, I mean, there's a lot to it. So you can't just build a float and throw a shack on top and call it good with a composting toilet. So if you have a composting toilet, you still gotta get rid of the ashes. If you're using a bathroom, you need to wash your hands. If you wash your hands, you need a sink. If you have a sink, now you need a gray water
It's
tank.
still very.
You know, and it just goes on and on and on and on. So,
So floating out, I mean, I just did the chat GPT and it says under US Coast Guard. It's any watercraft used for that's capable of being used as a means of transportation. So if a houseboat
Right.
has an engine, rudder, or other means of navigation, it's a vessel. It's permanently moored where no motor or propulsion is isn't practically used for navigation. It may be treated more like a floating home, so.
That's
Do we-
ChatGPT though.
Right, I don't know if we believe this.
But I thought that we.
Is there a
I thought
float?
that we
One
had
at a
it-
time,
we had it
one at a
limited.
time.
No, we didn't.
I could have sworn we
No,
did.
it was there was a lot of discussion.
so I can go right now to the registry in Boston with a 2x4 and register that 2x4 as a boat.
Hmm.
And get MS number.
Yeah, because let's face it, what about all the sailboats that have no propulsion? You know, I mean.
Oh, come on.
No,
It's just-
seriously though,
Yeah, we're just saying, the way it
is that a
is, it's still a
vessel?
vessel, you know, without an
Yes,
engine,
and-
so you can't, it's a legal question.
Yeah, you gotta go to legal on this one.
It's
So if it's a
legal
floating
question.
home.
And there's
can we
been for
charge-
years, it's been
So,
going around in circles.
I'm just gonna I don't know how to do this. Do we wanna have a discussion about taking this up as a topic? As the Waterways Board, including legal, including everything?
Yes,
Yes,
I'm dying to.
Sounds a
yeah,
Me too.
me too.
Sounds fun.
Yeah.
Me too.
Honestly, God, dying to.
I have already I've got 3 states worth of documentation on. Just dying
I
to
think it
get
should
to
be
it.
a boat.
Hell, that shall come down on
I don't care.
I will, how are we gonna? Sorry, buddy, I think it's public facilities, not
Okay.
finance,
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay.
or do we just
I'm
take
happy
it up
to
as
do
a full board?
Well, the full
Well,
board,
it's not
sure.
facilities.
Has to go to full board first anyway.
Alright.
It's not facility.
Yeah, what is it?
It'd be
Well,
the-
more-
I think it's
maybe it's
water.
full board anyway.
Regulation
Full
thing.
board
Well,
At that
does
point.
the moorings go before facilities?
No,
No.
okay, so
Then,
Full
yeah.
board anyway.
I'm gonna put this on the
Why not
next
then?
agenda as a good, long topic. I will personally do a little bit of research, extra stuff, pull together the information that I have. John will pull some together. Anybody that can find anything on this, get it to me before the meeting. That's
Yeah.
me. And then, and we'll put this on the agenda. Does anybody have anything that was not on the agenda that we reasonably didn't anticipate?
Nope.
Okay. So finance for sure, we'll do a little research around houseboats, if anybody else we definitely will tackle the budget and that, the houseboat conversation as the major topics of the next meeting. And we need another member.
I think that whatever Brian came up with just now, whatever he read, is absolute perfect for us.
It's ChatGPT, I would not be going.
We can check Grok.
I think that's perfect.
Right out of this
Description.
Brian,
It has to be.
did it say it included a
These
motor?
things are pretty smart. I'm starting to trust it a little bit.
Yeah.
Did it say it needs
I don't think you have to consider.
It just talks about propulsion and everything.
What about a motor? Did it say
I can
motor?
check.
How does it rank there in location?
Let's, wait, before we go melee here, let's
Yeah.
just end the meeting. Can I have anybody else have anything else before we end the meeting?
So houseboat, hold on one second, please. Houseboat, where it is, it's a huge deal if it's over flat. If it's near navigation, if it's big and wide and if it swings into navigation, then it can't be.
Yeah,
So you can't impede navigation. You have to be away from the federal channel.
Yeah.
2.5 times the depth of the water. So there are some rules that may prevent a houseboat from being in certain spots.
like any boat.
So that's all I had to say.
Okay,
Just-
no, we'll
there are-
incorporate,
there are
we'll
some
incorporate
rules.
that in the discussion, for sure. Yes, so we have a motion to adjourn. Does anybody want a second? Any discussion?
If nobody on Zoom, right?
No, all in favor?
Aye.
There was people on Zoom.
No, they're not, voting members.
Oh, okay, yeah, but there was 2 people.
Is that turned off?
Not yet. All in
Yeah.
favor? Any
Aye.
opposed? Hang on,
I'll tell you, I'm on. so
It's
I
on.
can tell you.
No, yeah.
No, you're still on.